What's up, Grovelanders?
Hey.
We are in Salem, Massachusetts all day today, and we came across this unique coffee shop right across the street, Odd Meter Coffee Company. I looked up odd meter to see what that is, and it's a musical term. It's a meter that incorporates both simple beats and complex beats. So I think that fits the shop to the T because they have some very unique ways of making coffee.
So I went in to just grab, of course, a little cup of coffee, and I saw all these things, and my brain, the way it works, I'm like, what's that? What's that? Hey, you mind if I bring my husband in to film this? Because this is awesome. So I'm excited for him.
Yep, we're gonna go check it out, and we'll be right back. This?
Yeah, so this is called an OG drip tower. It makes our Kyoto-style iced coffee, and it looks really complicated, but it's actually pretty simple.
It looks like a science experiment.
Yeah, it's pretty fancy, but water starts off in this top orb, if you want to call it, and then it's slowly being controlled. The flow of water slowly being controlled all the way down to where it goes drop by drop, which you can see right here. And then from there, the water gets spread out. Coffee slowly absorbs it, and the entire bed of coffee is going to get saturated with water and then just start dripping right through, and it's going to fill up this entire container with a really rich, clean, delicious coffee.
And how long does that total process take?
Ranges between about 6 and 8 hours, and there's no heat involved. It's just water and controlling the flow.
Any like specific water? Just spray, spraying water?
So yeah, we control the water we use here. We use a reverse osmosis water.
Oh, okay.
And then we remineralize it to a level where it both makes delicious coffee and tea and also protects the equipment. Because water that has too many minerals can build up, cause scale.
Oh yeah.
And water that doesn't have enough can eat away at the metal and expensive parts of the equipment. But yeah, this is kind of like...
And you could do 2 at a time, it looks like, maybe?
Yeah, we can. We're missing a second piece right now, so we're just able to do 1 at the moment. But yeah, it makes delicious. We like to think of it as like the wine tasting of coffee, because there's a lot of different notes in there, and you can kind of taste where a coffee from Ethiopia, what that coffee would taste like versus one from Guatemala. It just has a lot of nuance to it.
Is it like a stronger coffee then because of how long so do you sell it in smaller, almost like espresso style sizes?
A little bigger than that.
Okay.
It would be an 8-ounce cup, so your coffee there is 16, would be half that. So it's very concentrated, but very clean.
What's the typical way? Is it just a preference, like sugar, creamer, or do black? Or
yeah, that one we tend to serve black.
Okay.
Because we want to showcase the coffee. We don't tell people no. If someone wants that with cream and sugar, of course we'll do it. But most of the time, if someone came in wanting that with cream and sugar, we might direct them to like a cold brew, just because I think it might be more tasty. But yeah, coffee's personal. You can have it any way you want.
Which is true, because that takes such a long process to dilute it with cream and sugar. It probably hurts. Like that's going to a steakhouse and ordering your steak well done.
And then putting A1 sauce all over it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Steakhouse worth its salt should be able to do that and make someone happy. So we kind of take that same approach. Like we don't recommend it, but we'll do it.
And where did this originate? Like
this comes from Japan.
Okay.
OG. It's made in Japan, and so it looks very intricate and fancy. But this type of process is actually all around the world. There's different types of brewers that are doing the same thing, just slowly dripping water onto coffee. But that method produces like a really interesting flavor. It's just a really interesting way to brew some coffee.
There was a smaller Is that the same style? Called the same
It's the
style?
same
It's
one,
just like
just a lot smaller.
countertop.
That one does, so this will do about a gallon or so at a time with both of them running. The smaller one does maybe about 15, 16 ounces, so just same thing, but scaled much.
How long would it take to do it in that one?
Maybe 4 hours.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, shorter time.
So this is the another style?
Yeah, this is called a siphon. It also looks fancy. It's probably fancier than the OG, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's uses heat and suction and pressure to create the coffee. So it's what we would call an immersion wash method. So basically you have water on the very bottom, you have coffee that goes on the very top, and then this is a burner that's basically boiling the water.
And then
And what you do is,
in the bottom tube is actually sealed.
so right here is a gasket that creates a seal. So you start off with it wide open. Coffee is in the very top, and there's a filter here. Right now we don't have one, but there's like a cloth filter. Once the water's boiling and the coffee's in, you create a seal. Water's then gonna rise up to the top, soak the coffee, and then because it's so hot, the extraction happens really quick, like a minute and a half.
Oh, wow.
And then once that's done, you take away heat, and then coffee gets filtered through the cloth down here, and you have your brewed coffee in the very bottom. So you get the mixture of like what a French press would taste like, as well as a pour over that has a lot of clarity. So it's very strong, it's very clean, and very rich. It's also a lot of work to clean up, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it's super fun. We don't really do it in the shop right now. We may in the future.
How much would something like that cost?
These days I try to avoid the place with the big A that we shall not name. This one is called Bon Mac.
I mean, can
That's-
you go direct to the manufacturers?
You should
and
be able
purchase
to.
from them?
There's a few other vendors I'd recommend, but this one, there's one from a company called Yama that looks a little different, but it functions the exact same. I can't remember, maybe $40, $50.
Okay.
At the time of this video, who knows what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Inflation and so on. These ones you can buy online too. They come from Japan. Those are a little more. They're like $500 or $600 or something.
Look, they even have the drip coffee.
And so that's a pour over right there.
That is so cool. This is like the most unique coffee shop. And we
How-
go to a lot of coffee shops.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
obsessed.
So how many different methods do you utilize here?
In the shop, well, we have espresso, so that's one. We have batch brew, which is just large
Your
amounts
standard,
of
yeah.
coffee. Yeah. We have pour overs, which is a cup of coffee but made by hand, as you see there. And we have cold brew. We have the Kyoto that I showed you a little earlier. We do some cocktail style drinks that are non-alcoholic, but our approach to coffee is like we want it to be delicious, fun, not snobby, but also be exciting in a way that gets people curious. So we do that by offering things like pour overs and Kyoto, as well as something where coffee is just an ingredient. For instance, we don't have the drink right now, but we did a drink called the Canadian Shaken. It's a shot espresso. It's your choice of milk. It's some fresh maple syrup that's thrown in a cocktail shaker, shaken up till it gets nice and foamy, and then strained over ice.
So
So
you'll do
good.
like a limited edition type of thing, so you have different flavors for different things.
Yeah, we try to follow the season. So maple syrup's great, like in the wintertime, where it's in season, and we still carry it, but it's not really in season now. So
Yeah.
we try to,
You don't promote it as much.
Yeah, but we use some bitters up there, so little tinctures to add flavor and maybe push a drink in a different direction, kind of like salt and pepper of making food,
Nice. And then you obviously sell bags of coffee here.
Yeah, we do. We use George Howell coffee. They roast in Acton, Massachusetts, and they have shops throughout Boston. And you can look them up. They've been around for a very long time. And George Howell's one of the early names in specialty coffee.
Get that espresso blend.
Yeah, but they make delicious coffee,
Yeah.
and they do well by the farms and the farmers that they source it from too.
I just have one other question. The Kyoto-style iced coffee. So, like, how much would that 8-ounce cup? Because that's such a process. Like, I would assume, it's obviously more than a regular iced coffee.
Yes, it's about $6 or so for an 8-ounce cup right now.
That's not bad.
At the time of this video.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But yeah, again,
That's
it's
how long it takes.
Yeah, it's a process, and we
Yeah.
keep an eye on it. But you know, don't want things to be deterrent for people like coming and trying it too. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's really the time of waiting for, you're not like, it's not labor intensive other than, I guess, cleaning the equipment when you're finished.
yeah, and it doesn't make a ton at a time. So if we were doing 2 at once on a busy day, we might go through all of it. So you kind of have to stay up on it and make it all the time.
Do you have any available now, or is that the first batch?
We
like,
sold out, so we're brewing it today.
We'll definitely be stopping back to get that, to give it a taste test and a review. Yep.
Yeah, love it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
You are beyond nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we came back to Odd Meter to taste their Kyoto-style coffee, and alas, they're closed. So dumb on us for not checking the time they close. So it's about 6 to 8 hours to
It's starting to
brew.
rub off on you.
We gave it 6, but then didn't stop back because we got busy. So we gave it 8, and 8 is too long because they closed at 4. Eric was extremely nice, as you saw in the video. So I just want to point out to go to the website to see what their mission statement is.
We all deserve a decent living. Diversity is a gift, which it is. People are awesome. Yep. Nature is sacred. And the last one, coffee is love. And I feel that one.
And there is more info on there, so go to oddmetercoffee.com. So here's Eric to end the video.
Until next time, last tag.